Expect the unexpected. How about think without thinking? So it's like a joke, right? But if you are patient enough, maybe that's the requirement, you may get it. Expect the unexpected may be easy to understand. I saw the sign in New Zealand when I'm riding my car, and I liked it. I took a picture of it even. When you are driving and having a happy time listening to the music or talking with the people, you may get lost to concentrate or pay attention to what's going on while you're driving. So maybe they put the sign somewhere where there are potential or there are some accidents before. Actually, I remember now in Ireland they have what they call, I think it's a black spot or something. Or was it in New Zealand? Well, anyway, the point was to identify area for people to be paying attention to, so that the black spot may have been the place where some people got killed. So something to remind us at the occasion. So strategically, you inform people, be careful. And if we have all that precaution, we may save lots of problems and maybe live long and happily. So not just driving, we might want to practice the same when you're living. Now, what about think without thinking? It's pretty much the same, but may go layer deeper. Think without thinking. I think you may know without thinking, meaning no mind, no self. So if you think without self, that's good. But how can you think without thinking? That's like a Zen koan. Actually, there's such statement translated from Japanese. It says, conscious of unconscious, or something like that. It's similar to this think without thinking. So if you know the state of no mind or no thinking, that's wonderful, because we may not pay attention to the state of no thinking because we're busy. And many people feel like when we're busy, we're accomplishing something. And I have been like that, and I may still be every now and then, because there's a habitual pattern, especially something to do with my life, and maybe your life too, if you can reflect, that you are conditioned to achieve something one after the other from younger days at the school and at work. There's a deadline and you work on it, and when you finish it, you have another one. So you have this, maybe you don't want to call it the rat race, but the conditioned way of looking for things to do. And instead of looking for things to do, the things to do get piled up. So you finish one and go to the next. I remember a quote by Ben Franklin. I made a video about it, that he said, I don't remember exactly the word, but he said something like, when you have things to do today, let's do it instead of carrying it to the next day. And I opposed to that idea. I mean, Ben Franklin is such a famous, accomplished, and respected person, so why would I be bothered to mention anything against that? But the point is the same. In his case, he may have lots of work to do, and he was very good at doing it, and people appreciate, so that's his habit. But that can be seen as a rat race in a way. I'm sure that's not the case, because he has accomplished and contributed to the world so much. Even to the point of, I think, $100 bill, they have the Ben Franklin's picture. But looking back my life and going through what I went through, having this state of no mind is very important. And that's very counterintuitive, and that's the reason perhaps I'm pointing more. Back in the case of the expect unexpected, it is the same as no thinking state. Then you are alert in the moment. And you're not talking, you're not thinking this and that, and oh, that was so, and all of that, but you're just being quiet and driving. Some people may feel not comfortable. I met the Austrian guy. Now, all of a sudden, this is maybe 30 years ago. I was from Munich or some such place to Austria, Innsbruck, I guess. Not Innsbruck, whatever the place was. Tyrol, right. And he was pointing that this is for my work, that he can drive without much effort, just to stay cool all the time. And at the time, I was so surprised, but now I'm thinking back at that, he's got a very calm and quiet mind, and he enjoys the drive and be aware of all the detail of what's going on. That's what he told me. But this is my previous to before my awakening, and I was busy running this and that, and I was happy doing it, and I couldn't focus just for driving because I get bored. I wanted to do something. So he was the opposite, but now I think back and feel he was in that state of samadhi. Not oblivious, but aware. It's the opposite of it. So back to the discussion of thinking without thinking. It's the same. And that's the koan that I want you to think about. And you cannot think about it, but the koan is typically put you in the process of no thinking because you cannot solve it. So it may not be resolved by talk because it's the experiential stuff that you have to get the point, thinking without thinking. And if you follow what's been discussed about being in the state of samadhi, being in the state of absolute being, accepting everything, and you're free from thinking, that's no thinking. And when you are in no thinking, thinking pop up as wisdom. So think without thinking, to me, indicate like a conscious without being conscious. Right. Think without thinking, conscious without thinking, kind of like thing. So as I mentioned, there are two layers, two different dimensions that we have: this mind and the body or heart, which is the way of nature that takes place, everything as it is, and we are alive because of that. But in our mind, we think we have to do this, we have to do that, and live like this, and he has more money than me, and I stock market is like this, what do I do? Busy, busy, busy. That's the world. In the internet too. So can we be driving a car like this Austrian guy as if, okay, scenery change, thinking come and go, but I'm doing this on this moment, on this task, and focus it. That's living in the now, and being also in the state of samadhi, no thinking. What's important to live? If you cannot be in the moment now and thinking about future, backward, in the past, this can happen, prepare, and spend the whole life like that. I think I spent my early life like that, and I still have the little element of that left. For some reason, the thought popped up this morning. Expect unexpected. I said somewhere, maybe that triggered me, that corresponds to think without thinking. So if we think without thinking, how can I talk like right now? Maybe that's what I'm doing. Because I'm not planning. It just comes out. As I mentioned, this story of Austrian guy, I still remember him, popped up. So that's kind of like a wisdom talking to me. You remember that? And that memory of that Austrian guy, I remember that. And that story about his driving without getting tired and enjoy it. I think I put his name in my book as appreciation of our meeting in my, how do you call it, preface or something, acknowledgement. Funny. Now it triggered me to connect to that. I wonder if we can follow my story, including this story of Austrian guy. He was a scientist, engineer, calm guy. I went to his house. He said he'd go back around the mountain, pick up mushrooms and stuff like that. Tyrol. Innsbruck. That's the place. I think he invited me to the cathedral to listen to the music. Live music quartet or something like that. Yeah, that's the memory coming up without my thinking about it. So think without thinking may capture wisdom, may not just the wisdom, but it may be an element of that is within us that has a reason for us to be aware of. And that makes our life rich, interesting, amusing, miraculous. That if we can connect to those area memories from the past, aligned to what we see in here, in a way that's full life. It's not just this here and here, so that we have a balance. There's a time for this, that time for this, that way to connect. It's a dynamic situation that we can go through to live life. Just a thought, expect, unexpect, think without thinking. Zen is paradoxical, but it's pointing something. And their saying is this, Furyu don't use mind with words. That's also paradoxical, connecting to this. Furyu do not stand or using words. And the next phrase is kyogebetsu, teaching as a way without using mind, or something like that. Be conscious of unconscious, think without thinking, expect without expecting, or expect unexpected. Have a good day.